There's all kinds of snowmobile racing out there. I mean, you've got hill climb, you've got snowcross, you've got ice ovals, you've got radar runs. Basically, anytime you get 2 or more sleds in one place, a snowmobile race can break out. I think it's just something baked into the DNA of us snowmobilers. But there's one race that stands out above them all, and that's Cain's Quest, which takes place in Labrador. Think Dakar Rally meets snowmobiling. Cain's Quest takes its name from the explorer Jacques Cartier, who referred to Labrador as the land God gave to Cain. This wasn't a compliment for this harsh and rugged landscape assessed by Cartier, but this land would become the perfect territory to test man and machine in an ultimate race of endurance and skill for the teams who attempt this adventure. Cain's Quest only occurs once every 2 years, with the next race scheduled to start at 10 a.m. sharp local time, Saturday, March 4th, 2023 in Lab City. From that beginning, over 35 teams of 2 riders each will depart every minute until the last team leaves on their quest. Ahead of the riders lay a course taking them to almost every corner of Labrador, totaling over 3,500 kilometers in distance. This test of endurance isn't laid out on flat groomed trails either. This race takes place cross-country through terrain chosen by the individual teams, not the organizers. Now, this is a timed event, with the wind going to the team of riders to complete the circuit the fastest, but there will be 18 consecutive checkpoints that must be crossed by the teams in order for them to score their times. Some of these checkpoints are quick in and out stops for the riders, while others have mandatory layover times for teams to rest and recuperate before the next leg of the race. Now, the terrain here is capable of breaking both man and machine as the teams push themselves day and night to reach the checkpoint goals. Just finishing Cain's Quest is an achievement not every team completes, and for those that do make the distance, it can take up to 6 days for them to reach the finish line. Now, some of that time will be spent in the mandatory layovers in the communities along the way, in a warm bed if they're lucky, but it's not uncommon due to breakdowns or extreme weather for teams to have to spend a night out on the land with only themselves to rely on until help arrives. Adding to the complexity of the event is the ever-changing Labrador environment. Teams must not only be able to cope with navigating through this remote wilderness, but also deal with snow that can range from concrete-like wind-blown conditions that break snowmobiles to bottomless powder that's practically impossible to move through. Then you have the weather that can range from sunny, spring-like conditions that are above freezing to all-out gales that reduce visibility to almost nothing and bite at the competitors with temperatures down into the negative 40s. Luck does play a part for competitors to take on this challenge, but they have to be ready for anything. Sleds must be evaluated by tech officials to ensure they're equipped properly for emergency situations, but competitors can also be found carrying extra gas, overnight gear, and snowshoes along with tools and spare parts. The unknown can be dangerous on this quest, and that's why there's 2 riders and 2 sleds on each team, which does add complexity to the race, but also an extra measure of safety with 2 team members traveling together. There's also many support members of these teams in the background, keeping the riders and machines going, but the 2 people who start the race must finish the race, and supporting teammates are limited as to what they can do for these riders. Cain's Quest is a true test of the will of the riders and their skill to cope with the inevitable challenges they will be met with along the way. For this year, you can follow the race and your favorite team online through real-time GPS tracking data. Head to the Cain's Quest website where you can follow the live tracking or download the Yellow Brick app for your Android or iOS device. If there is a more difficult racing challenge in the snowmobile world, I don't know of it. Cain's Quest is simply in a league of its own when it comes to challenging the environment against distance and the clock.